Welcome to Hell, the podcast for sinners, where you send us your tales of iniquity and we offer our infernal judgment.
So you died, get over it. We have. You think you're the first one to be eaten by an overgrown lizard at a very ambitious theme park.
Tell Jeff Goldblum to put his shirt back on, wave goodbye to Laura Dern, and head on down to the fiery gates for a good old-fashioned gossip with me, Daniel Fox, comedian, plant mom, and Hell's resident receptionist.
And me, Dane Buckley, comedian, BA in melodrama, and lapsed angel.
Darling!
Darling!
Oh, I did tell you, but I'm going to
Tell
tell you
me again, I
for the
wanna
sake of
hear
the
it again.
podcast. I did my final show in London. Well, my final show until I do my final
Let's
show.
not lose an hour about how you've extended it 12
I'm extending
times.
the tour into the autumn. I did my last show at Bloomsbury last week, and when I sat down at the piano and people stopped applauding, someone in the front row went, "Darling," and did like the best impression of you, to the point where I like snapped up and was like, "Gosh, that was a good impression of Dane."
And how did it go?
Terribly. No, it was really lovely. It was really fun.
Oh, the pictures looked amazing.
Yeah,
right?
it was really, really fun. So I'm on drink duty. I've brought in something interesting.
And you've been hiding everything from me, which
Yes.
always makes me suspicious.
Well, my boyfriend Adam, who works part-time at a sort of brewery,
okay, that's
sent me...
not giving me fun queer energy.
Sent me well, it does all sorts of like spirits and things, but he sent me a photo of this bottle and was like, "Surely this is perfect for your podcast." And I was like, "Bring it." So this is what I brought. So have a little taste. I would be so interested to know if you can tell me what even an element of what's in this. It is strong.
Ah! Lord Jesus. I didn't know Adam was into BDSM.
I quite like it, but it does take a while to make you go, mm.
The licorice in this. Is there?
Yeah, well,
I'm getting Pernod.
there's not Pernod. It absolutely has a licorice taste. But what's behind the licorice?
Big man. Holding me. Do not tell me. I am a hornet that's just landed on a flower.
Come on, Mrs. Super Taster. Oh, look at you swishing it around your mouth and seeing into the eyes of all of your lovers.
I know her. I know her.
I know her.
I've seen her in the coffee shop.
I've seen her in a dream.
Is that
Talk to me.
coffee?
No.
Milk?
Well, kind of.
Just go for every lettuce, cabbage.
Nettles. Do you want to know?
No, not yet. I can't. The public have come to know.
Gripping podcast. Is this good podcasting?
I'm getting like a Kahlua vibe. Anyway, okay, tell me. Put me out of my misery.
What you're getting, and the thing you're picking up on, is that there is maybe like a teaspoon of Baileys in there,
Right.
which is such an interesting thing, isn't it? What do you think? No, I'm kidding. Imagine if that was the interesting liqueur. No, it is chocolate absinthe.
Wow. Would not have got the absinthe.
Yeah, well, the absinthe is the licorice. So absinthe
Yes.
traditionally tastes very licoricey,
I know. I've seen Moulin Rouge too.
which is made of, it's like green.
things.
Well, it's green. There's a liquid, but it's
Yeah.
got green. Is it green aniseed? Green something in there.
They used to call it the
Fennel, green fennel seed.
I was fucking gonna say fennel, and that would have shut you right up.
Well, I got there fast. And then
Chocolate was the coffee bit I was getting.
yeah, I think so, mixed with the kind of chocolatiness of the Baileys, I think.
So Adam saw
Adam saw it's called
a bottle of.
a chocolate absinthe called Devil's Botany.
I thought you said Devil's Bottom.
Devil's Bottom,
And
the name I
they've-
used to dance under. It is
I bet Adam saw that and be like, I know two gears who will
Yeah.
love that. Is that me doing?
That was your wife, Margaret. But that was lovely. But she was probably with Adam because she also
They often- they
she
go play
volunteers
bingo
at the brewery,
together.
doesn't she? After she's done her, well, she goes for a drink and she maybe does a shift behind the bar after she's done her cooking in prison.
We've both married northern butch beings,
Yes.
haven't we?
Yeah.
That is really good. Do you know what? She's not sweet, but she tastes like she will fuck you up.
I think she'll fuck
in a really good way.
Because it was banned for like 100 years in this country, absinthe.
Remember when Jerry's in Soho was doing it illegally.
Oh,
And after we
really?
saw Kylie Minogue in Moulin Rouge, she played the Green Fairy, didn't she? The effect of the drink when you have it.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, because poets called it the Green Fairy because
Yes.
sometimes you'd have these.
Yes, sorry, I didn't tell you the name of this. That would have helped. I'm calling it the Dark Fairy.
Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah.
Please, please, please tell me we're spelling fairy the dramatic way.
Faerie.
The only way.
The only way.
The other way is homophobic.
The other way is very highly homophobic.
Well, Kylie played the effect of the Green Fairy in Moulin Rouge, so every little gay worth her salt ran out and tried to get. Do you do absinthe?
Yeah. And also, it was like what Oscar Wilde drank.
Yeah.
So
and
as a
you
child,
put on
I
the
was
spoon
like,
with
I
the
shall
sugar.
drink. Yes.
Yeah. I once had some on a date,
Yeah.
and I can't believe I'm admitting this again. I shat myself.
I have just made a note on one of the ones that we're editing to go out soon, where we've had like the first rough cut through, saying, let's remove some of this content about shitting yourself.
Well, it's out
so
there now.
much.
It humanizes me.
It lets people know that you are not completely perfect.
Exactly.
Even the most perfect people might vacate their bowels
She
once
is
or
not a
twice
drink
a month.
you can take the piss with,
No. And the to be honest, I tried it.
to be honest.
And I will be honest, I had a little sip of it before I headed out, and thinking it would be like quite chocolatey. It is barely chocolatey at all. It's actually like very much just tastes like.
I am kicking myself up the batty because what I wanted to say in the beginning was mint aero because it's chocolate and menthol, and that's.
I
know-
added the drop of, and I could probably have even gone half as much again, but it's only a tiny amount of Bailey's in there. But I thought it needs mixing with something, but I want to like lean into the chocolate part of the chocolate absinthe.
And lean into that chocolate.
And I
part.
did, and I thought that would be for you. Because on its own, it really does just taste like absinthe with like
Aftershave.
the tiniest
Yeah.
whisper of...
Listen, for my street rep, when it comes to it, I can knock back some tequila shots.
Yes.
I just wouldn't sip something that tasted like battery acid. You
Vim-
would love to sip, and I'm like, let's just knock it back and so we can dance. That's the
I
difference.
like to sip. I like to sip and grimace. Sip and grimace, a lovely double act named for us.
You can do funny, can't you?
Funny.
And so what have you been up to? What else?
Oh, just got a fucking speeding fine.
Oh.
It was literally just I'm having to go on a speed awareness course. I have to go on a 4-hour speed awareness course.
I'm
run
telling
by-
you now, your fans would king pay to see you. Please do a live stream to see you, Daniela Foxtrot, do a 4-hour speeding course.
I'm going to have to go into some like miserable hut somewhere run by like a man called Len with like some taxi drivers and some lorry drivers and some boy racers, and then just me and like several layers of pearls listening
Your
to
cake.
like how like if you hit me at 40 miles an hour, there's a 30% chance I'll die. All of that shit.
Yeah.
Or you will only get there 12 seconds earlier if you speed and actually make like...
Please come in cape first.
I'm going to wear a cape. I'm going to wear full body pearls. I might wear a wig.
It's delicious. It's
I'm
absolutely
going to go in
delicious.
Moira Rose levels, I think.
Oh my God. Because I've been dreading this is going to happen to me because you drive so much with comedy.
Yeah. Literally tens of thousands of miles in the last couple of years.
And it's so easy. Sometimes you're shopping, you're doing a live Insta chat, and you happen to be driving down the motorway freeway.
How are you supposed to both shop online, maintain a group Zoom,
And Grinder.
and be on Grindr,
And drive safely.
and drive at the speed limit?
It's
just
homophobic.
absurd. It's crazy.
We're laughing, but I've literally shopped at Amazon whilst driving.
Yes, and I was like, stop, you've gone too far.
no, your words were like, I'm really enjoying your friendship. I don't want you to be out of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, straight to you.
I don't want to hear the voice note where you're like, ooh, a portable kettle.
I think your words were, I don't know if I can get into my suit currently. I can't do your funeral right now.
I need some time. You're going to have to give us time to get into my bodice.
So that's been going. So you've got that. So you're
Yeah, it was midnight. I was on the way back from a gig. I did 80. I should have been doing 70. Okay.
gosh.
The thing is, if I'd been doing 79, I think that's within the...
Yeah. Do you know what that is? That is unfortunate.
Yes, it is unfortunate, which is also the name of the musical which I've written and which I'm about to speak to you about.
Did you write a musical?
What a
Dan?
beautiful segue. Yes, I did write a musical. Thank you so much for asking, Dane. I just realised I've not spoken about this on the podcast very much, and it is touring now. It is called Unfortunate, the Untold Story of Ursula the Sea Witch.
Gorgeous.
She's touring the UK.
I've seen it twice. Sometimes people say they wrote a musical and you go and see it and you're like, And who was with you when you wrote it? As well, this is really bloody good.
Oh, thank you. It's very rude. A lot of people keep trying to bring their children, or at least when we did it at the Edinburgh Fringe like 2 years ago, people were like bringing their 4-year-olds to be like, it's Ursula. It's like, no, this is very much leaning into like the drag side because she was based on the drag queen Divine, the original Ursula. And it's very filthy, very funny. Yeah. It's a touch, I
Good
just say so
songs
myself.
as well.
Thank you, darling. Anyway, it's on tour. It is, it's been all over the place already. It's already done like Manchester and some other places, Leeds. I think it's already
The
done.
London run had some drag race royalty.
It did have some drag race royalty. Well, so Ariel is played by River Medway.
Yeah.
Our Ursula is played by Sean Hammock of Orange is the New Black. We've got an amazing cast. And it is going to Exeter, 4th of June. Wow. Well, I'm just going to list the places, but it's going to Exeter, York. Yeah. Then it's landing in Bromley for a couple of weeks. Nottingham, Newcastle, Southampton, Wolverhampton. So if you fancy seeing some very queer sea witch musical evil.
And if someone is lost in an underwater dungeon and can't get to that, they can get the EP.
Yes, thank you. Oh my god, that's a good idea. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, there is an EP. Well,
you never promoted your own show.
No, I haven't. There's some songs on Spotify if you search "Unfortunate: The Untold Story of Ursula the Sea Witch."
Is it going to off Broadway as well?
Nothing is concrete, but there are conversations about America and Canada and some other places.
Will you do an underwater community tour?
Yes, we are aiming to do either Atlantis or that part of
the Titanic,
Cleethorpes, where it's like slipped into the sea.
That's all the Cleethorpes.
Yeah. Cleethorpes.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Anyway, so who knows? We don't. I mean, fingers crossed about the American bits, but she's on tour. I just thought I'd say because I am now off. I am officially off tour. That is the other thing that I've been doing now that my tour is like ended, other than a few dates in Edinburgh.
You're so frustrating because you end a tour, but then like post 9 more days.
Just 9 more
You're
days.
like Cher. You're like Cher.
Listen, I
literally.
just can't stop. But anyway,
in many ways,
I'm now having a week off.
Right.
For the first time in a long time. I'm just. I've been lying down.
Nice.
I've been lying down all this week. And that's all I've been doing.
Other than getting us work.
Dane, what have you been up to?
Oh, thank you. I've been fucking loving Madonna lately. She just did a tour. She did a night. 1.6 million people attended. 1.6 million
in one night.
In one night.
Where?
Copacabana Beach in Rio.
Oh shit! Just like a whole beach.
Whole beach.
Wow.
And just 66 this year. She did a 3-hour show. Grindr must have broken down. That can you imagine it? Like
there wouldn't have been.
She broke a world record. And I just thought,
oh, was it a world record of biggest like outdoor or just biggest performance?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And it was also just really good. It's just
I wonder if it was the Beatles that she beat. It's always the Beatles that have those records. And I always think, listen, I'm sorry, I know there'll be Beatles fans listening, but boring. I think boring. I'm so sorry.
And we just know that Taylor Swift will be breaking it next week, but still let Madonna have it now. She's 66.
She's had it.
She's your age.
She's my age.
So I'm loving that. Woman. I've been using the term bitchalante this week, which is a bitch that it's okay to be a bitch if the person deserved it.
Mm.
You know, like a
bitch who's taking matters into her own hands.
I've had to be one today. I've had to be one today.
A bitchalante.
A bitchalante. So, and the best thing is, after you're a bitch to someone, to tell them, no, this is fine because don't talk about me to your therapist. I'm just being a bitchalante.
I'm being a bitchalante. I'm doing this for the public good. I'm here to collect the bounty.
I'm helping. But what I had to listen, I'm comfortable in many situations. I can get up and perform in front of 2,000 people, and then I can do some comedy.
You can play a game of five-a-side.
Well, what are we doing on the five-a-side? I mean, but bring my car to the car mechanic.
Yes. Park
in front of straight men. That's terrifying to me.
You've got the little parking mirrors that I told you to get.
I have. But if they're watching me, I just feel like, oh, here's a gay guy parking. Oh, you can't. And then I get in my head, I'm like, oh my God, just a baby. I must shop while buying something on Amazon. But I had to bring my car to be serviced. And the most gorgeous, manly creature stepped out. It was absolutely divine. And wanted to talk to me about my car. I mean, luckily, the woman on reception, she is iconic. She is someone that drops every British idiom for affection in a second. Hello, darling. Listen, Papa, it's going to be fine. Listen, my little lambikins, I've got you, cherub. And I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need. But cut to him showing me. He took it upon himself to show me how to check the oil because I got a bit confused. I don't
think I've ever checked the oil.
Well, he did that horrible thing of, I don't want to do it for you. I want to show you the way.
No, do it for me.
So I'm stood by my car, bonnet up, And I'm just trying to throw out words like, I was like, yeah, carburetor,
The gasket.
pussy. I don't know. Anyway, afterwards, I can't get my bonnet down. Like, I can't release the little stick. I don't know how to do it properly. And he's just standing there, and I'm trying to make conversation. And I'm literally like this. When I got it down and it snapped, I was literally like, thank fuck. When I drove away, all of them were watching me. I got an email the next day from her saying, well done, darling, on your parking. And I was like, oh my God, they were watching me.
That's so nice. That she was like, you did it, honey.
I did tell him.
We wasn't sure that you would.
Yeah, we had a bet. We had a bet. Michael put £5 on you not being able to get away. You might because where I live is very hilly.
It's a hill.
Yeah, and there's hills everywhere. Like when I first learnt to drive, which I did for comedy, I remember going around this lad's house for a hookup. He wanted a community top to come round and sort him out. There is nothing less sexier than stalling your car 4 times outside his house, struggling to do an uphill start, me lowering down the window and saying, could you go inside for a minute, please, while I sort this out, having to reverse half a mile and then walk back to his house.
There's
It's like the
nothing
least
ruins the
sexiest. How am I going to knock on his door then and be like, right, I'm ready to break you? Literally, I had to reverse and park in like a Granny's Bay. So I've been quite stressed. And it's a weird energy, isn't it? That would make me nervous. But to sing an Irish ballad in a pub or get up on stage and do...
Yeah, it's so weird,
so
isn't it?
funny.
I have nothing about going on stage gives me any sort of butterflies. But there are certain things that are so basic.
Yeah.
Where I go, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly.
Did you catch the game? I'm like, oh, he's best be talking about Hunger Games. Do you know what I mean?
We would so be in the capital.
Oh
If
my
we were in the
God.
Hunger Games, we'd be like, dyeing our skin pea green. Both of us with like pastel beehives.
Yeah.
And like,
The good-looking men should come through the...
can we go back to the phrase community top? Because love it, but I'm in my mind envisioning, like the community, what are they? Like community security people? They're not police people.
Right. Oh, community officers.
Yeah, like the community officers where they have no powers other than like citizens' arrest.
And teenagers love to say to them, you're not a proper police person, shut up.
You can't do anything to me.
No,
I'm imagining that, but as a top.
No, there's jokes about there being community poppers or community fleshlights that all the community borrow. But I meant community toppers in like offering a service to the community.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
I know.
sometimes you lay with a lad. Is he from the House of Attractive conventionally? No. No. But he needs
A support worker.
my skill set sometimes. Yeah. And for a good 7 to 9 English minutes, I'm able to offer that service and do my bit for the day.
Majesty's minutes.
Majesty minutes.
And that's her referring to King Charles.
I'm able to offer that service, and then you're off into your own life.
Yeah, and then it's off, yeah. They have to find their own way then.
Yeah.
You're not going to walk them all the
like
way.
Glinda going, bing!
Yeah.
You had to find your own way home. If you wouldn't have believed me. Imagine a top saying that.
Okay, well, lovely. I think we're all caught up. Anything else you want to share before we move on?
I've got the all clear from the gum clinic.
Oh!
Clean bill.
Congratulations. Clean bill is what they call you. The highways and the byways.
Accepting applications now.
Accepting applications. She's open. Okay, well, I think it's time for a little thing we like to call the Sin Bin.
Ooh, the jazzy version.
Sin Bin, an area of this podcast where Dane and I like to take... This is growing on me.
It's growing on me. It's putting hair on my chest.
When
I got call back.
When you said mint Aero, and is Aero an American sweet?
It's a way of life.
I feel like they have it, but it's called something else. Anyway,
I love the Americas. Does their chocolate leave you a little lacking? I wouldn't say it because we'd get messages. So,
American people listening, do you know your chocolate's bad? Do Americans know their chocolate is bad?
I don't think so because they love Hershey's.
Yeah, they dive into it, but it smells like sick. When a British
tastes
person,
like wax.
Yeah. When I think someone that's not from America goes into I went into the Hershey's factory in New York thinking as like a kid being like, how exciting! It smelt like pools of vomit.
Yeah.
What is the milk? They use like a strange...
Well, they use an emulsifier, I know, like Australian chocolate.
Yeah.
Sorry, Australian, but your chocolate, seriously. But when I've been with Americans when they try Cadbury's and they convert instantly. They know.
But I think there's something to do with the milk, not just the emulsifier.
Right.
I think it's it's rather than using milk, it's like a condensed something, or it's something that has, and that's that sourness that.
And
we
they
can
also
smell.
use corn syrup, which is even sweeter than sugar. But it's just terrible.
It's so bad. And I'm sure there will be like nice artisan chocolates over there.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day chocolate in America God help us all.
As well, we could walk in and get a dairy milk or a flake, and it's
Yeah.
always a little bit life changing.
Yeah, it's it's sweet, it's milky, it's sugar, whatever. Like I think our baseline of chocolate here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
definitely.
you can go much higher than dairy milk. But
And we're not going bougie. We're not going like, because the Belgian people will be like, no, but the best is this.
When did Belgium become people who think they own chocolate?
I know.
You don't grow it there.
No, exactly. Stick
'cause
to your
you've-
warehouse dances.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Excuse me. Stick to your waffles or whatever that you make.
exactly.
Like you don't grow cocoa.
No,
You just
no.
process it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you'll just
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
I think you'll find we'll probably find that the best chocolate is actually the. Have you tried Aztec chocolate? I was going to say the best chocolate is Aztec chocolate. It's grainy, but I do quite like it.
I took a busload of pensioners to Cadbury World, and they have a little ride in Cadbury World about where chocolate comes from, and you're in the rainforest. I mean, they leave out the little bit about colonization and stealing indigenous tribes. But I remember this sweet woman grabbing the rail, and she honestly thought it was how she was getting home. And I said, she's like 84, and I said, "What do you mean?" She went, "I thought this will take us home." And I was like, "And you thought we'd go through this mock-up Aztec rainforest back to London?"
Oh,
and she's like,
so
"I know,
nice.
so cute."
Oh, I want that to be how she goes home. Proper Charlie in the Chocolate Factory glass
Yes,
elevator
yeah.
style.
Because Bovril and all of that place, that town was made for the
Is there a
workers.
town called Bovril?
Yeah.
Like the beef soup.
No, I'm wrong.
Keep it in. No, you clapping. We're not cutting that out.
I wasn't clapping for that. I was just doing my little Asian dances. Thank
Oh, I
you.
liked that. Oh, hey, when we cut something out, we often do this. We do a little clap so Yanis knows where to cut, but Dane then added in. And that was lovely.
Thank you.
For anyone listening rather than watching, it's sort of the hands go out like an aeroplane, but then they tilt
Yeah.
to a sort of diagonal. It's sort of quite a beautiful movement.
Bourneville.
Bourneville. Bovril being the UK.
Beef tea.
It's a tea of beef.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything worse.
Bourneville was made for the workers of Cadbury,
Yes.
basically.
Really well treated.
Yeah,
their staff.
really well treated.
Do you remember? I also went on the Cadbury tour as a kid, and got my sticky little fingers into all the different chocolate things. But also, do you remember when Thornton's was at its prime?
Yes.
You remember the 5 years when Thornton's was like
Yeah.
as classy as it got,
Yeah.
and I would walk around like where would it? West Quay, which is the Southampton version of Westfield, the giant shopping centres, and I would walk around and I would
It's
go
a
to
chocolate shop, by the way.
It's a
everyone,
chocolate
yeah.
shop. It's like a chocolate shop that's kind of fallen from grace.
Yeah.
A chain. And they used to do like a chocolate fountain shots.
Yes,
But it was just
yeah.
oil. It was like
Yeah.
3/4 oil with like a bit of chocolate, but it was like
Yeah.
so liquidy. And then I would like scoop it into my mouth with my little fingers.
And do you remember you could just order like a rabbit, a dog, or a chocolate page and get writing on it?
Yes, you could get the writing on for a friend for like
It was sad though
present.
when she started to fall from grace and close, and then you just could get their range in a WH Smith.
Yes.
Because it was basically a queer community centre for. That's where young gay men
Thornton's?
hung out. Yeah.
Really? Gay men hang out in Thornton's?
No, gay boys. I mean, as a
yeah,
child,
that's
just in the
absolutely
window,
where
be
I
like,
was.
dear Samantha.
I
will
used
you-"
to literally be like, I'm going to be a chocolatier when I'm
Yeah.
older. I think that's a gay rite of passage.
Yeah.
Anyway, time for the sin bin.
How did we get from sin bin to chocolate?
Sin bin.
Sin bin.
Sin bin. Sin bin. And that is a part of. I'm quite drunk.
Me too.
Hey,
and also,
and I feel very like
that ad hoc harmony we just did.
really good. I feel quite normally when I get drunk I feel quite low. Not sad,
Yeah.
but mellow.
Yeah.
Whereas I think maybe our drink is absinthe.
Maybe-
It would be on brand.
Who knew the green fairy is our drink?
The Dark Fairy, a name you used to dance in.
Name my testicles.
So anyway, the sin bin. This is the part of the episode where Dane and I like to take the modern. We like to take the traditional, outdated 7 deadly sins of the Old Testament, and we just throw them in the bin because who cares about lust, pride, all of those things? They sound quite nice.
Yeah.
Actually, there are much more diabolical things to be dealing with in the modern day, here today in the modern day.
Yeah.
And we are listing them. Each week we're drawing up a modern list of deadly sins. Dane, would you like to go first?
Yes, I would. It's going to be a quick one. It's going to
Okay.
be a short one. It's going to be a powerful one. People who pronounce the spice cumin,
I don't like it.
they should die.
It's wrong.
Yeah. We
It's-
love some dramatic pronunciation.
Yes. Hey, here's an update on something I didn't tell you. I went to
Okay.
see Nigella live. I mean, you know, but I didn't tell the listener just then.
goddess.
I went to see Nigella live last week. I met more people that listen to this podcast
Really?
than I've ever met in my life. I couldn't walk past
You
any.
should just go up on the stage.
Literally, at one point I was like, I wonder if I got on stage and was like, who here knows me? How many people there would be like, because literally every single group I walked past was one of them would go, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And not all of them knew my name, but
Yeah.
they'd be like, oh my God, you do the Hell and the Heather. Or, oh my God, you do this influencer.
I mean, you are like a Gen Z Nigella. Everyone says that. don't you?
Everybody says that. She was great. Even the
God.
women we were sitting next to, they sort of glanced at me a couple of times, and I was like, "Hi, like you seem
Is
fun.
it a wig? Is it
Is
not
it a wig? Is it a hairpiece?" Did I tell you that Robin is also now spreading the hairpiece rumor about me? There's now 2 of you spreading that I'm wearing a wig, which I'm all for.
I'm going to get on it as well.
And I was sitting next to them. They glanced at me and my friend a couple of times. Oh, it was Robin. I was with Robin. Robin. Who is the girl I wrote Unfortunate, the musical with? Anyway. And then in the interval, they went and got some wine, and they came back with an extra glass and gave it to me. And we were like, we love your Instagram. It was just because...
Did they want you to do your famous filled wine glass?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Because if any audience is going to be a crossover audience...
Crossover
A
audience.
crossover audience.
Yeah, of course. Nigella and you.
Nigella and me. It's gay men
Yeah.
and women aged 20 to 55.
Also, she is funny.
She's so funny.
I think she's having a little tiddlywink cocktail.
She said she'd had a little vodka to start. She was being very funny.
I saw her 6 months before you saw her. I think I told you about it actually. And
You sort of saw like a preview, I think, whereas I saw like the finished article. Which was really
and she was sozzled. And she was really funny with her answer. I remember her saying 2 lines that she can't leave the house without a little bit of mustard in her bag for emergencies.
Yes,
which I thought was great.
And I've also read that she likes to have Tabasco in her bag as well,
Yeah.
which I've now started doing.
And she also said this line that I want on my grave when I die, which is, a life without cocktail sausages isn't worth living.
And I would like to do a call out here to Quorn cocktail sausages because they've changed their recipe and it's disgusting.
Right, because they used to be nice, and I had some recently, and I was like, oh,
They are dry,
Yeah.
and the skin is bizarre, and it like comes off like a snake. It's
Oh,
very, very
gosh.
weird. Anyway, all of
Anyway,
that. Side
these
note.
mofos saying cumin. We love a dramatic
Just
word.
sorry, just
Oh,
the
sorry.
reason I actually got onto Nigella was just because she does that a lot. Obviously, we all know Meet Krawara, but that was her
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being funny. But she talked about vermouth, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I always call it vermouth."
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, "I know, I'm told that's wrong, but I just prefer it that way."
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
love that,
And I love that.
but
I
not
thi-
cumin.
not cumin. I think the object has to earn it.
I
The
agree.
fabulousness.
do
And I
agree.
don't know if cumin needs a name change. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's the best name for it. It's cumin.
like we are both accepting of saying, "Oh, I love that woman. She is formidable." Don't we? But some people say,
Formidable.
"Yeah," and that's a word that warrants a change and like have
Yeah.
a European version.
Give it a
you
little
know?
a little sass, yeah.
But cumin doesn't. Need
No, come in.
that. And nay, that's
Okay.
my sin bin.
Yeah, accepted.
And yours, darling?
I am doing a listener sin bin. This is contributed by Tasha. And Tasha has contributed families who kiss each other on the lips.
Yes. Okay.
Tasha says that families that kiss on the lips when they say hello and goodbye are an Oedipal nightmare and should join the ranks of sins that truly unsettle the soul. It defies both hygiene and the boundaries of familial intimacy, spreading its peculiar brand of discomfort with every puckered farewell. Yeah, I mean, I find it sinister. I think I maybe kissed on the lips with my family up until I was like 3 or 4. I think like as a toddler, maybe.
Because when you see it,
Yeah.
like adult people, I'm always like, oh, gosh, should someone be on a list? My family are very, very close. We're very touchy-feely. And so much of the other people like or often be like, oh my God, you're such a huggy family. It's lovely. But we don't kiss on the lips. I think that would be like the next
Do you kiss on the
level.
cheek?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a kissing family. I mean, the hickeys are a nightmare, but other
Oh,
than that, it's-
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
some people just do it so like fluidly, just like go in for a big
Yeah.
smooch with their like adult son. Which
Yeah. I just don't. Either side of the cheek, a head press on top of the head, maybe for if I want to be an elderly woman with meeting someone. Oh, darling, hold you close. There, all of that.
yeah, I could see it was like a nice babushka.
Yeah, exactly. My darling. But on the lips, it's just a bit, and especially when it's slight. I've seen it in families where it's slightly slow.
Oh, so, yeah, a smooch.
Yeah, and you're like,
Smooching
oh,
your
this
children
is-
on the lips.
Yeah.
I wonder what the cutoff is. Do you think it's acceptable to kiss if you had like a 2-year-old child? Just be like,
I don't remember doing it, but well, hold on. You answer that question. I don't want to be on the list.
well, no, but I definitely
Yeah,
used to
I think
kiss. I
kids
think my
do,
mum I used to
probably,
kiss her on
yeah.
the lips like when I was literally like 2, 3.
Yeah, I think though, if you're like an adult married man called Gary who's 34, it's time to not do that.
I just think it's a strange, but I guess it must be a cultural thing, and yet it seems to be within. Like,
Yeah.
there are definitely English people that do it, and like,
Because lip on is like the arena of a lover. for
yes,
me.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
Lip balm.
Lip balm.
Lip balm.
The new fragrance of lip balm by Welcome to Hell.
Oh, we should do a lip balm range.
Oh my god, we should. Glittery.
Cinnamon and cassia.
Cinnamon and
to
cassia.
To the untrained palate, it tastes exactly
Also some
the
tea
same.
treats
but-
like cure gonorrhea or something just in case.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's edible as well.
Okay. It's time. It's got something in my mouth.
That was a delicious drama to the side.
Hey. Oh my gosh, I keep squeaking my trainers
You
on
do,
that
and I keep
scene.
thinking there's a little mouse running around.
Listener, here is the part of the episode where we turn the evil eye on you. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous deviled eggs. We have asked you to write in, we have asked you to confess or air your grievances with your fellow man. You can do so at judgment@hellpod.com. You can go onto our website, hellpod.com, where there is an anonymous form, or you can find us on socials at the Hellpod.
You
Anyway,
bitch, you did that without reading anything.
I did it without reading.
Loved it.
Here is letter 1 from a listener who is confessing, I shall be mother. I used to work as a barrister's secretary, and the guy I worked for was an arrogant and self-important dick. As well as the usual secretarial duties like buying his wife's birthday presents, finding his kids a puppy, and catering to his every gastronomical whim, he used to do things like make me hand polish the huge table in his chambers while he was at his desk, made me deliver Vaseline to an opposing barrister when he won a case, you can guess the symbolism, I'm sure, and the clincher was when he made me go to a sex shop to buy a blow-up doll for his friend whose wife had just birthed their first child. He then had the audacity to question how I knew where the closest sex shop was. When I got back to work, popped my head into his chambers and said, I chose young, dumb and full of cum, here's your receipt, I knew it was time to find another job. Fast forward to my last day. He departs early for a week-long holiday, leaving his dirty gym clothes on the floor of his chambers as he hurries out the door. I spot his white briefs neatly sitting inside his gym shorts with a large skid mark sitting in all its glory. I had 2 choices. I could deal with the offending mark, saving the poor new girl taking my place on Monday from having to make this shocking discovery, or leave it and rest easy knowing she knew from day one that this guy is such a prick, he will leave his shit-stained underwear for his secretary to deal with because he's too busy to wipe his own ass. I chose the latter. Am I the demon?
No.
No.
In fact, could have been more of a demon.
Could have... Absolutely what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Lean it. Like, make that skid mark more of a skid mark.
What would you do?
Bit of Nutella on it, and then invite like I would make it much worse, make it very clearly visible, and then
Yeah.
I would send some
Put it
sort
on the
of
door.
yeah, hang it on his like the cabinet
Yeah.
of his desk or something, make it really like big brown stain, and then I would send a message from him to like the Chief Justice or someone very important,
Yeah.
being like, oh, Philip has requested that you come and collect these documents to review. He thinks they're really
Yeah.
important. You need to know, so that they come in and
Yeah,
see it
yeah,
and go,
yeah.
oh my god, disgusting.
Or like to the barristers who are in chambers often have clerks and stuff like that, how the legal system works, to send an email or to speak to them and be like, listen, I am not one to kink shame. I'm just aware about the safety side of things when there's feces involved. But I don't want to raise those. Just really get in there. Plant the seed, because barristers care so much about reputation. But they're also, sidebar, like, there is this thing like too posh to wash. And there's so many straight men who just don't wipe.
I literally was just about to say, why is I've never had a skid mark in my life.
Well, I think we all know that I can't say the same, but
Well, no, but I think there's a difference between
an
having
accident.
having
a pint of absinthe.
having a ladies' accident now and then, but then an elegant ladies' accident. But like
a name! I used to dance on that.
but like
we've decided to say the full thing, a name.
Yes, we realised, we had a conversation just for this recording, the amount of times that we say something that could be a funny name, and then because it's like an in-joke for us
Yeah.
now, we just go, a name! And then we stop. And any new listener is going to be like, what the fuck are they doing? I don't understand how on a day-to-day basis, all these, and it's so many men,
Yeah.
just like not wiping their asses
And
and like
also-
leaving potato prints around the world
Yeah.
and in their own clothes.
And also, like, things happen, but I'm also really aware if someone else is going to see that. Like, if I have a lover come over or I've dated someone, I have everything as if I am a beautiful human that doesn't even poop,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
doesn't fart.
I don't need
I
toilet
never
roll.
mouth breathe or snore.
What for?
You know, I want it to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
So also just the arrogance of this guy.
Yeah,
just
it's
like I
such
want
a
to bring
power
him down.
play.
And even I thought it was sad the way she said when the new girl starts, because you know he's going to be like, I want a young girl in here doing
Yeah.
this stuff. She's absolutely not the demon, but I would have left with more.
Yeah, what would you have
zazz.
done?
I think I would have left a bottle of Rogaine on his desk, the hair medicine.
Mm-hmm.
The last few days, I would have just spoke to his hairline the whole time, you know, to really get into his vanity, because that's where it would hurt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hide some like worm medication. Like sort of in his desk that only his new secretary would see.
A leaflet on halitosis. Just
Yes.
sort of, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Be like, listen, they didn't want me to make a scene. I said, no, he might be diabetic. We don't know. He might have,
The Lady Chief Justice has asked me to give you this.
what are those vocal stones you can have? You know, those,
Oh, tonsil.
yeah, they stink,
Stones.
don't they? Just
Yeah.
be like, I said it might be that. So don't worry about when you go out there. Don't think that they're all, really get into his brain for when you leave. I've been
Yeah.
damaged.
Undermine him. Yeah,
Yeah.
clearly you've got the good. So not the demon.
No.
Could have
no.
done more.
In fact, next time, before you
angelic.
go, email us and we'll give you the tips.
Yes, we'll help you
We'll
out.
appear in the office and be like, oh, gosh.
Dane, over to you.
Let me have a little sip of death. A dark fairy. I caught my throat. Hi, Danielle. Do you see what they did there?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I love her.
It's mainly you.
Starts with greatness, doesn't it? Yeah. Loving the podcast, and now I am in need of some devilishly devious decisions. I was fired today from my job, was given 0 reasons why, and was told I must leave the building immediately, and was escorted off the premises. I was working there only a few months, also a social worker angel like Dane, and was on the temporary contract still. Up until I was evicted, I had received nothing but praise from everyone I worked with, and all those I helped support. So the termination comes to me and those around me as extremely shocking. Am I a wanted criminal now? Feels like it. The help I want is this. Because I was so unjustly fired and have left lots of casework left in progress, how can I get my bittersweet revenge on those who have wronged me? I want them to know they crossed the wrong deviled egg. Your infernal advice is needed. Kisso from your Swedish Javelzeg.
I loved the Swedish devil's egg at the end.
I love that
Devil's egg.
they also put the pronunciation because
Yes,
they
they
knew if I looked up on YouTube, you'd come for me.
They wrote it out phonetically. I really enjoyed you reading that with your finger as you were going.
She sees everything. She sees everything.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You would have been I, of course, was in the special class for a while at school. You would have been one of those students that volunteered to help.
I was in Gifted and Talented. Thank you.
No, but you would have come in to help me. Come on, once again. This week we're reading Nigella's first cookery book. I'm 4.
Repeat after me. Cook, eat, repeat, repeat. Okay. Well, listen, we're on a theme today.
Yeah.
Revenge.
And this is
Corporate
something-
revenge.
Deviled eggs can do this. They could, if you've got a revenge coming, we'll help you work
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
if you have something in advance where you're like, I'm about to do something and I want it to
Yeah.
really sting this other person, just get in touch.
I mean, obviously, any legality side, we're in hell, we're dead. You can't come for us if it goes wrong.
We
Yeah.
can't be
Don't
arrested.
listen to
We're
us.
non-corporeal. Hey, so many things you could do. Hide shrimp in the office, the old classic. Get a shrimp cocktail. Go around just sprinkling those bits wherever you can. Key their car. It's very Summer Heights High.
Yeah.
Mr. G, you know, when he's
Yeah.
like, that's all it would take. Here is
Yeah,
this
just give the
little
revenge.
little bit of poop on the floor to close this down.
A little bit of fairy liquid in the milk.
Bit
in
of
the
fairy
fridge.
liquid in the milk. Milk? In the
In the
milk.
milk. I really get stuck. I worked in this job. I won't say her name. Her name was Florence. She was a bitch. She was very posh and very passive aggressive. And one day I was late to work because Christians were marching out the front on their way to an anti-gay protest.
Oh.
I didn't want to be in the middle of them fighting with them all, and I would have. So I was 3 minutes late, and she recorded it. And I explained why, and she was like, "I'm sorry, you just need
Oh,
to
that you
be
were
on."
3 minutes late.
Yeah, and I was like, "I'm sorry, there was like an anti-gay march, and I didn't want to walk through. I'd find that really difficult."
Traumatizing.
Well, no, I was going to say difficult not to smack the fuck out of them all. But anyway, she was a bitch. And when I left that job, how I got her back was, and I think you could do this really well. I was like, well, no, I just want to, you are such a nice good person. You're a really good manager. I've always said you're a good manager. I think it's unfair that the other staff just say that you're so bad, so terrible at your job. I mean, I assume you're probably near to retirement. Oh, you're 24. Oh, sorry, my bad. You're just really like...
I couldn't tell because of the crow's feet.
You're not a bad person. They say you are. And I said to them, no, look, she's under a lot of stress. I did it so like that. And I swear, like, she couldn't come for me at the end.
What did she say?
Well, it was in front of a trustee when I was being
wow.
I wasn't passing my 3-month probation. So I thought, down with a bang. Let's really...
One of the things I love the most about you is your absolute refusal to let anything go. And you really do commit. So many people, when you talk to them, they'll tell you like, and then they did this to me. And you're like, wow, that's awful. What did you say back? And they're like, oh, I didn't say anything back. I didn't want a confrontation. And I can always rely on you to always have said something or done something.
Do you know why? Because I'd rather leave with my head held high and not be in my bed at night being like, I should have said something.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely do that. The only other thing I was thinking, I once worked just at a normal office, and everyone was pretty pleasant, but the receptionist once told a story about how because they just got so many things being delivered all the time, Amazon parcels, whatever, and one of them was a box that was vibrating, and it was very clearly a large vibrating dildo, and because it just turned on like at some point in transit. And I was just thinking, like, you could weaponize that, send them things in their name that you've ordered, and like literally request the packaging, because these things I would imagine are always like brown paper packaging, very discreet. You could send it yourself as if they've ordered it.
Yes.
And it's very clearly like 9-inch dragon cock or something.
A merkin. Yes.
Yeah. A ginger curly merkin.
Or like just see them in town and follow them with a bell saying shame, shame.
Yes.
Shame. Run up to them and scream and accuse them of giving you crabs at the playground. But
ruin their marriage.
Yeah, ruin their marriage. What I would really say is, being someone that has worked for social services, when we had Scandinavian, Scandinavian and German social workers coming in, they were so good that they really showed us up. And I know that we let some go because they were so efficient.
Oh.
And so what I would say is, like, go to another borough, work for social services. You will come into contact with that other social services and then laud it up.
Yeah.
About your
I mean,
rating.
the whole system over there is better.
Yeah, and just I find that this is they do a lot of horror films, but generally I find the Scandi social workers are amazing. And I know that ours would have been. She would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Any Javelzeg that's doing social services.
We might offer a little social work down here. Come down here.
Come down here.
Yeah.
And we'll do a
sort you out a
little
job.
workshop on Leaving in Revenge.
Yeah.
Well, my goodness, listener, that is all from us. That's both letters dealt with. That is our sin bins. That is me being quite drunk on Dark Fairies. Hey, if you liked this slightly chaotic episode, why not be sure to
That's
check
our brand now, though, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Be sure to check back for new episodes every single Thursday. And if you want to earn yourself a VIP place in hell, my God, why not subscribe to our Patreon? www.patreon.com/thehellpod. You will get extended guest episodes, you'll get extra bonus episodes every month, and prices start at just 75 pence a week, which I think is very cheap, although I'm not 100% sure. Dane, what is a pence again?
Darling, they're those things you flip to decide whether your minions should live or die.
Oh my God, yeah, that's fun.
And remember, what we'd love more than anything is if you expect me to fuck up that bit, but I didn't. But therein, ironically, I fucked it up by saying you're expecting me to fuck up. Moving on. And remember, what we'd love more than anything is if you'd share this with your friends. So do fly away and hiss in the ears of anyone you think would enjoy this evil little podcast. And perhaps if you could find it in your black, black hearts, leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening.
Finally, as always, if you want to submit
Why are you looking at me like a proud
because I
papa?
rewrote it to see
You did, you bitch.
because I thought we can't always say the same thing every time. Finally, as always, if you want to submit any confessions or grievances for our infernal judgment, my God, you know where to write to us, judgment@hellpod.com. www.hellpod.com, or find us on socials at the Hellpod. Thank you, as always, to Spotify for allowing us to use their beautiful studios, to Auburn Jam, the angels who made our music, and to our producer, Yanis. See you next week.
Bye.
Kisser, kisser.